Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho, and I am here bringing you some more Hearthstone. This is the continuation to the Paladin run that I had been doing. I don't remember my record going into this one, which is a little bit awkward, but yeah, anyway, this deck has been pretty kind to me, and I don't know, I think that it's alright. I mean, it's obviously not the best deck that I've ever built for the arena, but also is capable of doing some cool things here. So the plan here was generally play the Raging Worgen on 2 and the Demolisher on 3, and it hasn't really changed, though the Worgen Infiltrator does kind of hurt my Raging Worgen plans because Raging Worgen, because he can just throw it into it and then ping. And I mean, I had the option last turn of coining out the Knife Juggler and then playing an Argent Protector. The issue with that play is that the Knife Juggler just gets killed by the Raging Worgen, and then I don't really want to play the Argent Protector the next turn. So anyway, I'm just going to save the coin and hope to use a Consecration next turn, and that is actually exactly what I'm going to be able to do. Originally, it seemed like a good play, and then he didn't protect his Knife Juggler from Consecration. He instead threw an extra +1 on the Worgen Infiltrator, and that's actually an interesting thing that I've been faced with a bunch. Not in that specific situation when I've had to play against Consecration, that's pretty clear, but if I have a 3-5 and a 2-4 on the same board, and I drop a Shattered Sun Cleric, I'm not really sure if I should pump the or I guess if I have a 3-5, a 2-4, and another 3-5, so I'm not sure if I want to pump the 2-4 to get 3 3-5s, or if I'd rather have a 4-6 and a 2-4 and a 3-5. So I don't know. It's probably less confusing than I made it just talking about it now, but I honestly think that it is an issue that I should probably think about a little bit more. Would I rather diversify my power and toughness, or would I rather have the same ones? And I think I'd rather diversify it. That way, no matter what my opponent plays, I'll have a good creature to attack into his creature. But even after the Consecration 3-for-1, my opponent is still doing some work here. And, I mean, with the Young Priestess buffing the Knife Juggler, it's able to take out my Blood Cell Raider pretty easily. And now, again, I have nothing on the board, which is really not where I want to be. I want to be either ahead or even. And for some reason here, I decide that I think that playing those two creatures is better than just dropping a Ventrico. I guess if I had played a Ventrico, he might have just ignored it. And if he had done that, then that could have been pretty bad for me. But as it stands, he's just going to drop a Kodo, which is absolutely devastating on this board. And fortunately, he does trade the Knife Juggler, which I think was a pretty big mistake. He should have just traded the Blood Cell Raider, but I feel like he had already queued up the attack before he even saw where the dagger was going to go, so that's probably why he did that. And I think that that was probably a pretty big mistake and could actually come back to make him lose this game. I don't know, that was definitely an issue in terms of what he played. But I mean, for some reason he's not that far behind in cards, even though I did get that 3-for-1. He's just gotten steady card advantage throughout the game, and he's going to make the play that I suggested earlier, which is just charge at my face, and definitely scary. Right here, I have a couple options. I could do exactly what I did, run the Ventrico into the Kodo, but I think probably better play would have just been to Argent Protector up the Ventrico and run it into the Water Elemental. The reason why I didn't do that is because I have a bunch of creatures in hand, and I want my Ventrico to die, so I'm trying to entice him into trading either the 2-3 plus a ping or the 3-6 right now. And I mean, that is also an okay play, but the other one just is more reliant on what I can do, because I obviously only have control over my actions, and I can try to make my opponent have some actions, but I obviously do not have full control over that. So anyway, looks like he is just going to ping off my guy for some reason, and then I don't know why the sudden shift. He was playing the game really, really aggressively, and then all of a sudden he just started becoming a control deck. I don't know. I mean, I guess he realized that he was still up on cards, so as long as he maintains the board, and dropping something like an Acolyte of Pain on an open board is really powerful. But honestly, I just needed to take care of his big creatures, so the fact that he just traded off last turn instead of hitting me is pretty good, because I may have been able to make some more favorable trades, especially with the Blessing of Kings, but I definitely am still pretty happy. A Blessing of Kings and 2 Argent Protectors in hand, so it ended up working out for him, and it turned out to be the right play. I'm just surprised that he made it, because the rest of the game he's been playing really aggressively and just attacking my creatures, and right here, I do kind of regret playing the Demolisher out and letting him draw extra cards, but honestly, the freezing of my 5/5 is pretty bad. I mean, it's a very devastating play, and there's almost nothing that I can draw here. I would have to have, I don't even think I have another Consecration in my deck, and honestly, that's not even so good here. So, yeah, nothing I can do allows me to survive another turn. I can gain 2 life, but he still has enough power, more than enough power on board to take me out, and honestly, he still had 3 cards in hand, so probably one of them was a Fireball. So I was pretty much nowhere near close to winning that one. Alright, so I was 5-0 coming into this one, which makes that loss a little bit satisfying. Not satisfying, sadifying. Turns me into a person who is sad. You know, because that's how people talk in real life. That makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, that's not such a disappointing loss. My opponent clearly had a good deck, and, I mean, other than the Shattered Sun Cleric play buffing the wrong creature, and the Knife Juggler attacking into my guy, it seemed like a pretty well-played game from him. But then again, I mean, it's just easy to criticize when you're watching and I know all the cards that I have in hand. Maybe I made some plays that he was like, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, honestly, playing the Demolisher there at the end was kind of ridiculous, and maybe early on I should have aggressively used that Argent Protector to keep my guys alive as long as possible instead of trying to trade off the Ventrico so I could keep playing creatures. But whatever, I mean, games like that happen. And for this deck, being on the draw is a lot better. I mean, obviously playing my hero ability isn't the worst. It's not like Priest or Warrior or Hunter where they don't really affect the board, or Priest can in the mid to late game, but the others don't affect the board at all. I can make 1/1s and get some value out of them. But what I really want to do, since I have so many 3-drops and no, excuse me, no 2-drops, is that I really want to just be on the draw so that I can skip my turn 1 and then coin into a turn 3, play it on turn 2, or coin into a 3-drop to play on turn 2, and then play a 3-drop on turn 3 as well. So he's going to coin into a turn 3 and play it on turn 2. He's going to coin into a 3-mana play and play it on turn 2, while I try and figure out what I'm talking about. And I'm going to also play an Master. I'm briefly, or somewhat in the back of my head, I'm thinking about Consecration in a few turns so that I can take out the Master as well as whatever else he plays. If he plays a couple of totems for a reasonable amount of value. So there was a consideration to just ignore his Master and go straight for his face, just because I think I'm going to be wiping the board anyway. But I realized that it was really bad against Flametongue Totem, I think. Or it wasn't, I mean, I guess it wasn't so bad because he wouldn't be able to just straight up take out my Imp Master, but it would be a lot worse against Flametongue Totem. So I decided not to make that play. Yeah, it would have been pretty bad. I mean, I would have to silence it the next turn, and I mean, as it stands, Flametongue Totem is pretty good, but it would have been so much worse. Right, so I have a couple options here. Mogu'shan Warden is actually not a bad draw. I kind of want to keep my Imp Master around, so playing Blessing of Kings or Earthen Ring Farseer works really well in that sense, and that's why I end up going for Blessing of Kings. I think that was probably the right play, and alternatively I could have just silenced his guy. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to get to keep my Imp Master around for a while, and I mean, unless he's got a Lightning Bolt or a Rockbiter weapon, he can't trade, and even if he does trade, then it's just a 2-for-2, so it's not really so bad, and I end up getting to keep the 1/1. So definitely looking okay here. I mean, if he's got like a Lava Burst or something like that, that'd be kind of annoying. But the best part about this kind of situation is that I still have the Spellbreaker as backup. So, not the Spellbreaker, the Earthen Ring Farseer. So I can just go ahead and heal up my Imp Master and keep making dudes, just spawning them forever. I can also drop a Mogu'shan Warden here so that he can't come anywhere near my Imp Master. He's got to work through that entire thing, and then next turn I can play like a Dark Scale healer. So, I mean, I've got a pretty interesting situation going on here in that I have a lot of heal and like taunt and stuff, and a creature that I actually really want to keep around. But instead of the other play, I think Motion Warden might have been a slightly better play, but this one maximized my mana a little bit more, which is nice. Earthen Ring Farseer also would have, but I also get to trade off the 1/1 for his Golem. But now he can just Lightning Bolt my guy, which is a little annoying. The Earthen Ring Farseer play would not have allowed that to happen, though the Motion Warden play would have. And he can also, if he can find one more power, like a 3-mana 2/2 shoot guy or an Elven Archer or something like that, then he can also just take out my Imp Master by trading off his 2 guys. But again, I mean, if he does that, then he's not really gaining card advantage. Alright, so he's going to go with an Ancestral Healing of his own to heal up his guy and then drop a Cult Master. That's a great play here, because not only is he going to get the free draw off the 1/1 trade, but I also still have to work through the Imp Master if I ever want to get to the Cult Master. Looking ahead to my turn, there's a couple of options I have. I mean, with Spellbreaker and Consecration in hand, I do have ways to deal with the Cult Master, but neither are really perfect. I mean, Spellbreaker, what do you Spellbreak? Probably the 1/4, and then I draw a True Silver Champion. It's another interesting play. So, do I want to let him... Like, this is obviously the best play if Cult Master didn't allow people to draw, but I end up giving him the extra draw and keeping the Spellbreaker in hand, just because this play is so efficient here. And for some reason, yeah, I think I was about to say, for some reason I think I go ahead and kill his unit here, but it would be a lot better to go upstairs. That was actually a mistake. I think I should have played the Knife Juggler so that I could have gotten the 50% chance to take care of his 1/1 that was on the board. It's not like a 1/1's doing that much to me, but I mean, Flametongue Totem, Shattered Sun Cleric, both allow it to just take out my Imp Master, which I want to stay around longer because next turn I can heal it up and keep going. I mean, there's no reason to ever let that thing die. But there we go. He's got the Raid Leader, and that was exactly something that I was afraid of that could happen and kind of ruined my plans. Probably could have ran away with the game. I mean, you could have had something like a Lightning Storm, which would have been equally as bad, now that I think about it. But Lightning Storms are rare, and that's pretty much the only card that helps him in that kind of situation. Even a Forked Lightning is nowhere near as good. But yeah, again, the Knife Juggler also only had a 50% chance to hit it, which is worth mentioning. And hero powering every turn is something that I strive to do. So, I don't know. I mean, there are definitely arguments for both sides as to which play I should have made. But either way, definitely still a reasonable option, the one that I took. It's not like what I'm trying to say is that there is some merit to going ahead and taking the route that I took, because I do actually get to use an extra hero power, which is kind of nice. So I could have Consecration there, but I only have one board clear in my deck, so I definitely want to save it as much as possible. And right here I realize that I could just get lucky. I have 2 shots to hit this 1/1, so I might not actually have to trade my other 1/1 off. I probably should have traded. It didn't really matter, but I probably should have traded with or just traded with the Raid Leader and then started playing out creatures, just in case I could have gotten to save my other 1/1 as well, but I didn't think of it until mid-turn, which is why it's really important to, something that I mess up on a lot, is really important to discuss with you guys, but think in your head what your entire play is going to be for the turn before you take any actions, because there's a lot of situations where you just mess up because you realize midway through the turn that you should have done something differently earlier. But if you plan the entire turn out, it's hard for those situations to arise. So right here, I decide to make an interesting play. Not 100% sure if it was correct, but take some damage on my hero. I'm still at 22 instead of just trading the 5/2. It's a lot worse to like a board sweeper here, but then again, I mean, the 4/5 is pretty good at surviving board sweepers in this spot, but I don't know, it's definitely a bit of a risky play because I'm already way up ahead on board, so it might just make sense to keep my my board presence, or keep my life total high and ignore the board presence. But yeah, he's got another fire elemental, and he's going to be able to just take out the 5/2 anyway. So I kind of just took that extra damage for no real reason. And right here, I have him almost dead. Ardent Protector is a great draw. I don't think I've drawn any yet, so it's not like an unreasonable draw, but it definitely is one that really helps out in this kind of game. I mean, keeping the 4/5 alive just makes it so much harder for my opponent to stay alive even one more turn. But I think that when I was playing the game, I really did consider the two options between True Silver Champion plus a 1/1 and Reckless Rocketeer, but I decided to go with the True Silver Champion, though I'm not sure if I actually thought about it for long enough. Maybe, I mean, I definitely considered both options, but maybe I didn't really understand the severity of playing, like, what could happen if I played it the other way. Anyway, he's going to drop a Lightning Storm here, and still not really doing much, but if he's got a Forked Lightning here, then I'm going to be in some bad shape, because I don't have any more big power creatures in my hand. I mean, I've got a Spellbreaker, which is okay, but, I mean, that was basically the only way that he can get out of this kind of spot was with a Lightning Storm, and the plus spell damage definitely helped, making my creatures a lot weaker than they would have been otherwise. And it looks like he's got a Rock Biter. No, he's got a Hex. Okay. It kind of looked like a Rock Biter weapon because he was pointing to himself, and then he was pointing to the Manatide Totem. Manatide Totem? Not the Healing Totem. I don't know why I said Manatide. And yeah, I'm just gonna play a couple of guys out, a couple of 1-power creatures. Played a 1/7, a 1/4, and a 1/1. So started with 1/7 and then went -3 to the toughness, and then -3 to toughness again. And you know, that's how I arrived at what I was going to do that turn. I was just thinking, how can I make it so that I only play 1-power creatures with decreasing by 3, or decreasing in increments of 3. But anyway, he's just going to turn my Chillwind Yeti into a frog. And man, my opponent has played some really good stuff here. He's played 2 Fire Elementals, double Hex, Lightning Storm, and he also played the game well. It's just one of those situations where I kind of feel bad, because I'm sure that, I mean, I've been in these kind of spots a lot, and I'm sure that my opponent feels kind of like that game should have been his, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't feel that way. Maybe he thought that my deck was just awesome, and that every single situation I had the perfect answer. But I don't know. Anyway, got another win. Always good to see. But yeah, anyway, I'll be right back with the next game. Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho, and I'm back here with the next game in this Paladin. And I don't know why I'm starting it in the middle, like it's not in the middle of a video. So yeah, I'll just pretend that didn't happen. We are not in the middle of a video. Okay, we are. Fine. Anyway, I'm starting to get a little bit better, so I think that after this, or for sure after this arena run finishes, I'll be able to get back on the live commentating train, which is a lot easier for me, hence why it is so spread out for this one. It's just because I have to have the time to sit down and commentate and then still render the video. I don't know. It just is a lot more difficult for me to find the time to do all that, which is a little bit unfortunate since already this arena run has been pretty long. And we're not even done yet, so we'll keep going. But anyway, it's got an average hand here. I mean, Motion Warden is in it, which is just always depressing because that card is just pretty bad. Alright, I mean, it's nice if you can drop a Blessing of Kings on it, but anyway, other than that, I do have, I can coin into a 3-drop and then play a 3-drop, so I can play one on turns 2 and 3, which is nice, and I can also just drop this Demolisher on an open board, which is always nice. He's got to have a spell to get rid of it, or just hope that his creature can take the hits from it next turn. Alternatively, I could have just played the Amani Berserker, because it's not like that good to be ramping into Demolisher and then following it up with an Earthenring Farseer, but I mean, it's also not terrible. So, just gonna hit the face. If I had hit his creature, then I probably would have just swung into it and then healed up, but fortunately I get a good draw here. Drop the Raging Worgen on 3, which is a lot better than just playing an Earthenring Farseer, because this dedicates his gate, like he has to actually attack it, so he has to use his shapeshift or use a spell. It turns out he's got a bite, and he's just going to take a big old bite out of my Raging Worgen. ideally he would like to get rid of the Demolisher in that spot, but he really can't because I don't know why he attacked me there, my creature there. That was really bad. Ideally he'd like to get rid of the Demolisher because it's 4 toughness, but if he doesn't get rid of the Raging Worgen, then it's going to get enraged and it's going to do a lot of work. So I got a couple options here. I choose the more mana efficient one because I'll be able to just Darkscale Healer next turn for extra value. Alternatively, I could have played Earthen Ring Farseer to heal up my Demolisher and then just finish off his 2-1, which also would have been a pretty good play. Unfortunately, here he's got a Kodo, which is kind of annoying. I lose my Demolisher out of it, but I mean, when you look in the grand scheme of things, losing your Demolisher to a Kodo that had already done some damage and a lot of work and stuff like that is alright. So I opt here to play the Blessing of Kings, and I think that that was pretty awesome considering I have Earthen Ring Farseer, but then my opponent just drops a Black Knight. I had been playing this game pretty well, making nice plays, and getting some advantage, and then all of a sudden, whoopsh, Black Knight. Sorry, Daisho, you're in a bad spot here. So unfortunately, I couldn't play the Archmage, because this is what I was talking about when I was discussing why I don't think Archmage is that good. I have to, I would have had to play a 4/7, and that's just not big enough to take care of a 4/5. Even though it's a 6-drop, I can't even kill his 6-drop that has a very good extra ability. But anyway, none of the cards in my hand really do damage. They're all just kind of like big dumb creatures, and they're also not that big considering my opponent. I mean, they're also not that big, and they're just way too expensive because I have the Venture Co out. So really not in a good spot here. Not 100% sure why he decided to blow the Scorpion on that. He could have just shape-shifted and hit into it. I mean, he could have, obviously it would have been bad, or yeah, especially if he's got an Elven Archer in hand, then I think it would have been a much better play to run into my Venture Co with the 2-1 and then just finish it off with the 2-3, and then eat the 3-3 with his Black Knight. But I mean, he's still in a pretty good spot here with the Venture Co play as well, in addition to having the Black Knight and the 1-1 out there. I mean, so I'm going to be able to take out his guy, and keep my 5-2 alive, which is a pretty nice play, but I mean, I'm still playing from behind here. I mean, if my opponent's got anything in his 4 cards in hand, then he can easily deal with this spot. And like, even without that, he could have still shapeshifted, taking 5 damage. Taking 5 damage is nothing when you're at 29 and you're ahead. And he's going to hit me for 7 here, and then set up for lethal next turn. So I'm going to need to draw something really special. I don't even think there is anything in my deck. But yeah, I mean, that just shows how quickly a game can get turned around. I mean, I thought I was the heavy favorite to win that game, and then all of a sudden it was Kodo into Black Knight, and nothing I can do from that point. But I mean, that's alright. I mean, you win some, you lose some, and that wasn't a particularly tough one to lose. Actually, it kind of was. I mean, I really thought that I had the upper hand, and anyway, 6-2, but we're going to keep going. So thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day. I'm going to be back with another video on a different day. Bye.